Welcome to the Harvesting Wisdom podcast. Together we explore the vast landscapes of life, delving into the rich soil of experiences, sowing the seeds of curiosity, and harvesting the profound wisdom that each episode unfolds.
Hi, this is Dr. Roselle, the guest host for Harvesting Wisdom with Mike McMahon, and I'm really excited here today to be with Principal Sotomayor, right, from Montecito Montessori School. And really what first connected me with you was our upcoming Project Grow project that we're going to have this year. But more than that, you have something unique that nobody else in Arizona has, right?
We do.
So we're going to dive into the history of your school and what a Montessori school is, but let's talk about that unique feature that you have here at your school first.
So we were very fortunate to become the first organization essentially in Arizona that has a microforest. And we were connected with Lifetime Foundation along with the Sugi Project to get this opportunity through a grant. And essentially a microforest is small-scale forest. What we have is 4,000 square feet and over 1,200 plants and trees that have been planted in a very dense method called the Miyawaki method, which is a Japanese method that simulates what happens in a natural environment.
Now, this is unique for Arizona. It's going to be 100 and something today. It's hot.
Yeah.
A lot of these microforests are along the East Coast, or they're in climates that are much more amenable. How are you able to pull this off? Because if you come to the school and see it, it's lush, it's beautiful. So how are you able to make this happen in a desert?
Right. So something that was really important was using native plants and trees. And so we were able to be connected to a partner that has a large growing area that's south of Tucson. And they drove up native plants and trees to us in 2 different deliveries. And everything that was put in was about this small or this big as a tree. And our largest, tallest plants right now are almost 12 feet tall in about 8 months. We planted early with our school community in November, and then just have been able to just really enjoy the growth and the learning. So many different fauna have also joined our community. The students have been able to study different insects. We've had a wide variety of birds that we've never seen in this community area. So it just has really given us so much more than we expected.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique feature. And when you walk around the city, sometimes you'll see birds you never see or you don't see anywhere else. And it's almost like a microclimate because you have the birds, you have the insects, you have the plants, and it's definitely unique. You go out there and it definitely stands out. But the thing about your microforest, it's not an anomaly to your school. It's something that's part of a bigger program. So what would you say the defining program is here at your school?
Sure. So we are a Montessori school, and one really key facet of being Montessori is our sense of stewardship to the environment. Care of the environment is something that students learn over the course of the time that they are in a Montessori, and while they're with us, and as they start as 3-year-olds in our program, they care for their environment not only within the classroom, but also outside. So gardening has become a really key part of the curriculum that we have here, from just learning how to propagate seeds. The students sometimes will plant in a small cup and then have a seedling that they get to go and take into one of our garden spaces to then plant and care for over the course of the time that it's with us and produces, which we then have, sometimes fruit that the students are able to harvest and take home to cook, or we actually do some food preparation with them as well.
So let's talk about that, because I know on the way over here after I saw the microforest, you were talking about your vision. And the vision really is, it is immersion, but not in the forest. The microforest, it's in the classroom, it's in the courtyard, it's everywhere. So kids really do have the opportunity to grow. So talk to me about what a typical student experience is when they step foot on campus, go into the classroom. What does that stewardship model look like?
Sure. Really something that's really important to us that is a foundational tenet to Montessori is follow the child. So it's really important for us to build a relationship with them. So we have a very good understanding of what their interests are. We have a very good understanding of what we know they need to learn from a standards perspective. But in order to help them do that, we need that relationship. We need to know those interests, and we need to be following what they're guiding us to help them learn. So as far as the integrative methods that we use, the students, just as an example, we may go out into the microforest as a class, and on that day, we're doing measurements. So we're incorporating math into measuring the plants. We might be studying ecosystems, and the students are journaling, their observations of what they're noticing. And even for our primary students, they're drawing what they're noticing. They're drawing what they're seeing, and then they're incorporating writing by writing about it.
So one of the things I find interesting too, and I've been in education for 23 years, and I'm not, an expert. I'm not a practitioner in Montessori schools. But one of the things that you talked about, and I want you to mention to our viewers that's unique, is they really have the opportunity. You have the opportunity for peer modeling because the kids are clustered differently. So talk to me about that and how that impacts student learning.
Sure. So with our school, students start at age 3 in our primary environments. The primary environment is comprised of course, you said, a 3-year band. Students are as young as 3 and then turning 6 over the course of the year. They're all together over the course of that 3-year span. They are experiencing peer modeling, but also for our older students, as they're modeling, they're also gaining a sense of patience, because we know, a 3-year-old is going to be behaving a little bit differently. And so our older students are learning from them ways to just continue their own sense of character. And then as they transition out of the primary room, they go into our lower elementary environment, which is 1st through 3rd grade. Again, those students are together for those 3 years. Their learning becomes a bit more technical from the perspective of, they're really engaging in the standards, but also still using all the hands-on materials that they've learned to work with in the primary environment. Something as I began learning about Montessori is the fact that the utility of the materials continues. It's on its own continuum, and its utility evolves as the student is aging up into the different environments. And so a student may begin to learn spatial understanding through the trinomial cube, which then by the time they're in their upper elementary classroom, which is 4th through 6th grade, they're exploring algebra using that same material. So that was something that just I felt was really interesting for my own learning.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it's appealing because I had one opportunity in my teaching career to roll up with the class. And those were the best 2 years of my career. It was absolutely incredible. You talked to me about partnerships, and I really love what you're doing with partnerships because you're leveraging your local partners. So we were talking about the tree forest, and you have a unique opportunity to work with one of your community partners. Talk to me about that and how you think that's going to impact your student learning.
Sure. So like I said, the Microforest, we were awarded a grant through a partnership with Lifetime Foundation and the Sugi project. The Sugi really helped us do the planting and coordinate all of that project piece of it. And then through an additional grant through the Arizona Community Foundation, we were awarded more funds to then really be able to have the opportunity to not only, I connected with you through that to be able to leverage our partnership, but also to really be more purposeful with how the microforest can be utilized as an outside classroom. So, the students will be not only learning from the forest, but inside the forest. So we're looking at having, additional seating and being able to really cultivate the forest so that it has multifunction and allows us to be that more immersive and integrative for the students' learning.
And you were talking, one of the pieces of feedback that I gave you was, well, you need to label, and you're like, I've got that covered. But you're going to do that in a very unique way. Talk to me about that partnership, because I thought that was very clever.
Sure. So with another partnership with an organization in the community who is very focused on really continuing to learn and build a better understanding of the Indigenous people which originally inhabited this community, is with a partnership with them. They will be coming out. We have an amazing woman who will do lessons with the students, but they'll also be working on labeling all the different plants and trees in the microforest environment in English, Spanish, and also the local Indigenous language, the Tohono O'odham.
Oh, that's very exciting. In addition to that, a good principal always is looking forward. So going out there, you had your checklist of things that you want to do, not only to improve the microforest, but also the courtyard and other garden beds. We're going to look at a potential partnership with Denali to put down some mulch and put paths in there. But what are some of the other types of partners that you want to go after in order to develop the gardens here at your school?
Sure. What I know that exists around this community of Phoenix is a sense of ownership, a sense of the importance of the environment and how it helps us. So being able to connect with other partners from the perspective of even the sensory supports that an outdoor learning environment can give. So being able to connect with a partner that might be able to provide us with some guidance of, how could we have an experience out there for a student or students or even our adults that we need. Just that, that health support, from.
So maybe a butterfly garden based on
maybe a butterfly garden.
Yeah, I just learned recently, I think a year ago, that you can actually become a butterfly Waystation and register. So that might be a cool project. So if anybody that is out there and wants to help Montecito become a butterfly or monarch Waystation, that would be pretty amazing.
That would be, yeah.
So I think we talked about it briefly as well, too. Are you doing or looking for any partnerships in nutrition? Because most schools that grow want to teach the kids about how to eat, and there's a lot of research that shows that kids that work in gardens actually have healthier eating habits.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I would say as a district, we have an amazing nutrition department. We have actually an on-staff chef and nutritionist that what we've been able to do is, even though we are a Title I district, we've been able to provide students with nutritional experience with scratch-made food. So yes, that's absolutely something that we'd like to continue. I think the big connection that we really see could be beneficial is also that school-to-home connection. The students are learning a lot here, and to be able to help foster that to be happening at home that much more would be amazing. I think that's something that definitely could be a really good link on our horizon.
Well, we're gonna try to help make that connection with our monthly garden classes, because you're one of the Project Grow schools. There's going to be a free garden class once a month in your area. Would really hope you volunteer to host one. So if you're by the Montecito Montessori School, please make sure to check in with the school, because it's open to the community. So if parents, community members that want to come to those monthly classes, you're definitely welcome to come as well. Are there any other partners you're looking for as far as projects, garden related or non-garden related?
Sure. We're a growing school, so we always need, different supports. Because we're growing, we've got some needs for playground equipment. We are also going to be introducing our music program. That would be something that would be wonderful to be able to connect someone for that benefit. And in addition to that, art. So our visual arts program is just in its foundling stages, because we're growing. We have had that opportunity to share specialists with other schools, but in looking ahead of, definitely within the next year to two, being able to have, some of those different pieces that could really help us just continue to diversify our programming and make it that much better for the students.
Well, I have to say, from the instant we stepped foot on here, we felt welcome. Any student that comes to school here would be lucky. So if you're out there and you're wanting to get engaged in the school, please reach out to Principal Stefaney. You won't be disappointed. And you're just being rebuilt too. So you're halfway through the construction, and as you walk through the halls, everything's new. What an incredible setting for kids.
Yeah, it's an amazing space, and it's really been idealized and designed for students.
So I'm going to challenge our listeners to reach out to Principal Stefaney. If you're in the area, great, come and see how you can help support their programming. But if you want to learn more on innovative practices like the Microforest or any of the other Montessori practices or the gardening in the school here, she's definitely a valuable resource in this area. I'm Dr. Roselle with Harvesting Wisdom with my incredible guest, Stefaney from Montecito Montessori School. It's a tongue twister. Thanks so much for joining us, and hope to see you at the first garden class in our area.
Thank you for joining the Harvesting Wisdom podcast. Click subscribe and like for ongoing, insightful conversations. Explore our webpage for show notes and additional resources. Visit our guests' webpage for deeper insights. Your engagement is the foundation of our journey, and until next time, keep pursuing wisdom.